The adrenaline pumps, your heart's pounding.
I know it's dangerous, but you're trying to survive at this point in time because it was a giant wave. The night before the big swell, the buoys are starting to bump, and the forecast says it's going to be very big. And the positioning of the storm and the size of the storm, how close it is to the proximity of the California coast, it was going to be a big swell, like 1 in kind of 10 years sort of swell. And the swell was supposed to peak around noon to into the afternoon.
I was already down there for hours watching it, and with everybody else.
Talked to Randy 5 times. He called me, the waves are getting bigger, it's doing this and that. So breakwater can be a beautiful wave, and it can be a very mean wave as well. And so I'm pretty amped by the time I get down there at a little after noon.
Before Derek got down there, it was a nice sunny morning, no wind, but then the wind started coming on around 11:15, 11:30. It started puffing up out of the southwest. It turned kind of overcast.
Randy and I stood there for 10 minutes and looked at it and kind of sussed it out. And we made the call to go for it. The waves were very thick, muscular. So the anxiety level comes up. It's almost having 10 cups of coffee. You're just like, ugh. There are a lot of people there watching all the time, and you know, their adrenaline's pumping as well because it's pretty heavy out there.
We even go out before the swells and make sure the rocks are all cleaned off the moss so you don't slip, and you can run down, or if you have to run back up, you can escape out of there pretty quickly.
Those rocks are super dangerous. Super dangerous. Getting off those rocks is always a relief for me at the breakwater. Once you're in the water, you're so much safer in the water than you're on those rocks.
It was a complete lull, and so we just scampered up the rocks, and we ran down together, and we jumped together and slid in the water. And it was like we looked at each other and we kind of laughed, and I go, that was pretty easy. We
actually ended up being the last 2 guys going out. That I can remember, there were 5 of us out there, myself and Randy, Tracy Maestrel, Jeff Jones, and Jason Napolitano.
We're the old guys in the water when it gets big out there. Mine and Derek's goal usually is to get the biggest wave. We ride the bigger boards out there, so we sit out farther than everybody. So the medium-sized waves are the better waves there, because they'll barrel on the inside, and that's all for the younger kids and stuff. We're 2 old guys sitting out there.
Everything was fine. No one was getting hurt, and people were catching waves. Been out there for an hour or so, and I was the furthest guy out, and I saw a wave feathering. It had to be a half mile out, and I saw that, and I go, that just didn't seem real to me. It seemed really odd. I looked back at Jason Napolitano, who was maybe 10 yards in front and behind me. I said, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "No." Then when he came over the next wave, the whole horizon was feathering, which was really strange. It was like when you hear there's a tsunami in Sumatra. You're on your computer and you know it's coming because the guy's taking a photo of it and the kids are playing on the beach or whatever, and you're looking out at the ocean and you see the ocean feathering. That's what this wave was doing, and it was way out. And I've never seen that before in the years that I've surfed here, in all my life. I've never seen anything like that.
I really didn't see the horizon. I was a little bit more inside. Derek saw it first, and maybe I wasn't looking, but as soon as I saw Derek on his belly paddling, I knew that something was coming, and I paddled over this little one, and then that first wave of the set hit me.
What was going through my mind is to paddle out as far as we could get as well. That was, you're trying to survive at this point in time because it was a giant wave.
And everybody was scampering to the horizon.
Duck dive kind of halfway up the face, or 3/4 of the way up the face. And there was that feather that I was talking about. I had to get under that and kind of dunk dive that. And it was a big chunk of water. I don't know how many feet it was, 6, 8 feet of white water kind of. And I got through it. Well, it went from relief to dismay because the next wave was breaking 20 yards past me.
Right after that one is when the big wave came, and we all got cleaned up.
And I was way out. I was really far out, past the curve of the breakwater, and I was screwed. Definitely screwed. And I just kept paddling at what I had to deal with. It had to be a 30-foot face wave, I would guess. Point in time, I'm in kind of survival mode, so I wasn't able to really tell you it was giant.
I would say this wave, high 20s to maybe 30 feet.
Wave was breaking down the face on different levels across the bay, and across my vision. And I kind of went to the spot that broke last. So it was breaking about halfway down the face by the time I got to it. And then I just dove off my board and swam towards the bottom. And I felt the compression of the wave on me. And then my leash was maxed out. And I was just praying that my leash wouldn't break because I was way out there.
All I remember is really paddling as hard as I could standing on my board and diving down to the bottom as far as I could. Came up laughing because it was like we looked at each other and just kind of went, wow, that was exciting. And Derek looks at me and goes, God, I'm so glad my leash didn't break. I go, I wish mine did so I could swim
Get
in.
out. Don't take a hot shower.
Get out.
A pastrami sandwich.
We started laughing and then, yeah. You don't want to be as the last one out there.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
That's what I said. I go, I'm getting this one. I don't want to be the last one out here.
It's not like anyone can help you out there. It's just having someone out there with you, you know? It's just, it was.
But I left my wetsuit on the beach for a while until he came in.
Yeah.
Just in case he got hurt and I had to swim out and get him.
It was a super heavy, life-threatening situation for sure. And to survive that, it's immense relief mixed with adrenaline. And I guess it makes you smell the roses a little bit more. Just very stoked to get through it and sit here and tell the tale.